Right, so we just had our first budget of the year 2020 with the newly appointed Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak. He gave what's been dubbed the coronavirus budget, where he outlines what the government will be doing to basically react to coronavirus, but also ensure that we grow. International forecasters have said that the economy is going to shrink, and he pretty much conceded that in his speech. But also, he kind of sought to express what this new stimulus package might be that's going to help the economy grow and help small and medium-sized businesses make the most of what's going to be a very turbulent time. Now, I thought I would go through some of the key points that came out of this. Of course, everyone's covering this, and no doubt you can read the list of different policy announcements online. But here are the three top things to take away. The first thing he said, and he was very proud to say this, was that finally the NHS would get any money it needed. So essentially, he's given the NHS a blank check saying, whatever you need to deal with the coronavirus, we're going to provide it for you. That had cheers from both sides, both the opposition and the government, all thinking this is a very sensible policy proposal. Now, so far, he's doing very, very well, because if you ask me, that's what we need to be doing. The second thing he speaks about is statutory sick pay. As you know, many people on doctor's orders are being told to stay at home because it's too dangerous to go out. If you go out, you may just catch coronavirus. But what about small businesses who rely on a staff team of 20 or of 10? How will they survive if 3 people are at home? Well, at no cost to small businesses for a number of days, they can pay their staff and then get the money back from the government. Again, another welcome policy proposal that makes it easier for small to medium-sized businesses to really kind of weather these next turbulent times we have. And then the third thing he announces is that he's going to be introducing business loans and making it easier for small businesses to be able to kind of compete. This includes the central bank cutting interest rates down to 0.25%, the lowest it's ever been. That makes it easier to borrow. It means all the payments you have back, if you do have a loan, the weekly, monthly, daily payments you have go down, which means if you need a quick influx of capital, working capital, you can get that really quickly. Again, another welcome change. These 3 changes together, for me, paint a picture of a credible, sensible government responding to an existential crisis like coronavirus, which if we don't handle, we see what can happen. Just a few days ago, 130 billion was wiped away from the FTSE 100. That was very, very scary, and it had people kind of really twiddling their thumbs going, what's happening here? So this is a response to that. Now, all was going well until he said something which I think we ought to think about or discuss a bit. He says that, and he was very proud to say, this is only possible because of 10 years of financial prudency. And that's when I went, oh no. Why is it that it takes coronavirus for us to take the National Health Service seriously? Why does it take coronavirus for us to think about investing into public service properly? What everyone says, experts, whether you support the Conservatives or you don't, what people agree on is that the past 10 years, we've seen a decimation of public services. This is just the truth. So the fact that it takes coronavirus and a virus like this to see 2 sides come together and recognize the importance of the NHS and proper funding, the importance of infrastructure funding. Again, he announced £27 billion going into infrastructure projects. The fact that it takes this is slightly sad, but it was good at least to see, and it was refreshing to see 2 sides who historically are like this come together and say, well, we've got to respond to this thing. It's going to be turbulent for the next few months or so, but all these changes hopefully will mean that small businesses at least can survive, won't close shops. You also announced lots of small things like freezing duties and abolishing the tampon tax, something that people have been campaigning for God knows how long. But ultimately, I think this is his first test. He's got many more to come. But people say he passed. However, there must be an asterisk there, which is, well, it's kind of hard not to pass this, because essentially what he's doing is borrowing to invest. And this is something that is always going to be popular. The Labour Party love it because that is the party of borrow to invest. And also because of the kind of crucial, very unprecedented times we're in, equally, folks on the right also love this. So he passes his first test, but the asterisk is it's a test anyone would have passed, I think. It's a national emergency, and we need a budget that reflects that. And what we have here is a budget that reflects that. Make sure you're following the Commentators Network for more updates like this.